So the Patriots have canceled their meeting. Reportedly, I'm not sure if Gonzo just refuted that or not. I think there is a middle point where the team meeting's canceled, but they're getting treatment or doing a lift or whatever. So what's going on down there? Are firings in the offing? I would blame nobody because, again, after the game, which was exceptionally disappointing, just embarrassing, exceptionally disappointing. There's something about that game being at 4:25 that made it worse to me. Like, it was later in the day. I had to wait for it. Then I watched it. They had their opening drive. They're moving the football. There's a holding penalty. They missed the kick. Nothing changed. It's coming off a bye week, and it's all gross. So you get the bad play on the field, and then after the game you get Mayo. Can I hear this again? Throwing Van Pelt under the bus.
Two-hand shove.
This is after Jonathan and Robert are caught on the broadcast complaining about the offensive play calling.
Jonathan's taking notes.
Jonathan has his notes. And the two of them are just ripping the play calling.
Yeah.
This is what Mayo says after the game.
You consider running Drake in that situation, that it's a short yard situation, you know, he can run.
You said it, I didn't.
I did say that. Would you say that?
That should have been the follow-up.
It's more Joe Pesci. There's a lot of Joe Pesci mentions going on.
That should have been the follow-up.
But so I just think that's so embarrassing to come out and throw Van Pelt under the bus like that. Would anybody be shocked if he's fired today? I almost expect it.
The thing with Mayo is, and we've talked about this as the season's gone on, about their conservative play calling and how much of that is Van Pelt, how much of that is Mayo. When we talked to Van Pelt on Friday, he straight up said, I do what the head coach says. So we read between the lines, and you're like, all right, if he wants to bleed clock, maybe Van Pelt would chuck it deep on certain plays, but his conservative coach wants him to run, punt, or run, pass, sack, punt. Like that, how many times have they had a sequence like that? So then Mayo kind of goes the other way. But this one is so much more damning. It wasn't a one play. It was 3rd and short, stuffed, 4th and short, stuffed. Mm-hmm. So if you hated the 3rd down call, Gerard Mayo, in real time, if you actually hated it then, you could have ran up to Mayo or Van Pelt and told him, hey, why don't you give it to May here? Let May do something here.
You could have called timeout.
You could have called timeout, or you could have just said, hey, run the play with May. Or run whatever. Like he might not even know all the specific plays, but he could say, like, get the ball in this guy's hand, or do like a run pass option, or a QB sneak. It's very easy to say. And then Van Pelt will dial it up because, like he said, he'll do what the coach says. So Mayo had to stand there on the sideline and watch that play get stuffed twice in a row. And then he's like, hey, you guys said it, not me. It's like, no, you are the head coach. You are in control of that.
You said it.
You said it. And it's different than, you know, in the offseason, if Elliott Wolf makes a trade or signs a player or whatever, that's kind of apples to oranges. This is game day. You're the head coach. You can override a play call because you've told us all the time it stops with you, right? It stops with me. It's me. Well, until it's not and it backfires. So, yeah, that's just pathetic.
If you missed it today, Nick, can we also cue up his explanation this morning? It was at the tail end of a recap on the game and you know, sort of a long intro. Here's how he explained it away this morning.
You know, I know there's a lot of chatter about, you know, the question last night of, you know, you said that. I didn't mean anything by that.
No.
It was more of a defensive response. And ultimately, and I tried to clarify that with the follow-up question because ultimately all of those decisions are mine. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Okay. Good job just getting that out there.
What a relief. I'm sure Van Pelt feels great about it.
In the meantime, Van Pelt's probably fired. But
Conspiracy on the text line?
Oh, yeah.
That practice is canceled or meetings are canceled, but the team's on the way into the facility to be told news.
Something like that.
Yeah, it could be.
Like if we had to guess why they canceled meetings, they're firing Van Pelt.
It's what it feels like.
And I'm with you. I don't think that's the right call.
I think that'd be a mistake.
Van Pelt does not need to be back next year. I don't think he's done such a good job that he's back with Drake May next year, but I'd have him finish the season.
Well, I would have him finish the season. Somebody pointed out on the Twitch line.
He's arguably been the best at his job.
He might be your best coach.
Period. Yes.
That's it.
He might be your best coach, and you're firing him?
But I think what's even worse about firing him now, right after Mayo said what he said. Now, they haven't fired him, just if you're tuning in right this second. They haven't fired him. But if they do, you're backing Gerard Mayo, and you're backing what Gerard Mayo said specifically about him. And you're like, yeah, I should have a better play caller. It's like, well, Mayo didn't even hire Van Pelt. You know, that's another whole thing.
If I'm Van Pelt and they fire me, and who knows what's written in his contract or severance or anything like that, so maybe he can't. I go scorched earth on this trash organization.
Yeah.
And I go scorched earth on this trash head coach. If I get fired,
and
I'm doing my job, you know, I'm disappointed in some of the passive play calls and the cautious play calls.
But how much of that is him?
Okay. but he's far from the worst coach on this team. I would go
Definitely.
scorched earth on this place.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll do that, but it would make no sense to do it right now. Like you said, off season, maybe take a look at everything. Also, what does that say to the next guy? So it was already impossible to replace Bill O'Brien last year. You had to interview 12, 13 different people. Most of them didn't want it. And then you've eventually landed on Alex Van Pelt. If you fire him 13 or 14 games into the season, what is that interview process like? Like, hey, real quick, what happened to the last 5 guys? I want to be prepared. Yeah. Is this deal for more than 1 year? Like that would not be you've taken already a very non-attractive job outside of Drake May. I think guys would want to coach Drake May, but the offensive line's trash. The receivers are trash. The head coach has no confidence in you, and everybody else has been fired after 1 year.
Yeah,
yikes.
No, you said it earlier. It'd be great to work with Drake May, but then you got to work for this guy. You got to work for Gerard Mayo.
That's tough.
So I don't know who's taking that gig. Bob is on the Cape. Go ahead, Bob.
Hello.
Hi.
Gonzo back on the line.
Hey, I was reading articles about how Detroit fans are livid about the season ticket prices going up as high as they are now.
Okay.
I'm curious if the Patriots season tickets have lowered.
I bet they haven't. I haven't looked it up, but this is what they usually do.
Have they sent that out yet?
When teams are bad, they'll do a big press release to say that they aren't going up. Like, they should get a round of applause for that. That's a classic Red Sox tactic.
Right.
Like, hey, guys,
we're not raising them.
They're not going up. Like, whoa, they love the fans. And then what you'll do is
raise beer prices.
Like, Christmas Day or the day after Christmas, they'll be like 2% raised. Like, there'll be like a little store that says, like, they've increased them by 2%. So I didn't read the Lions thing that he's talking about. But I'm guessing the Patriots, they won't lower them. I don't think anybody lowers anything anymore. But they might freeze them.
You seen the price? You seen the price of eggs? Nothing's going down.
I go to the grocery store thinking I'm going to spend $100. $250, I'm out.
Oof.
$400.
A lot of mouths to feed in that Keefe household.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, hungry little ladies.
Look,
it's mostly Keefe.
Yeah, man.
No, I just eat whatever they don't eat.
Maybe the justification will be they actually spend in free agency to raise prices. I don't know if they've sent that out yet to season ticket holders, but yeah, whatever it is, the product is too expensive down there for what you've had to put up with the last 2 years.